is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today we're discussing Twas the Date Before Christmas, the kickoff to Countdown to Christmas on the Hallmark Channel, which originally aired on Friday, October 18th, 2024. Heyo, come be our friend on Instagram. We'd love to have you. We have 2 Instagram accounts. Girls Gone Hallmark is probably the one you're looking for. But hey, if you want to hang with us and just outside of the Hallmark world, we are Megan and Wendy also.
Hey, you know what I've been doing on Instagram? Well, I just started it this past weekend.
Yeah.
So the night the movie premieres, like after it's over sometime, I have been asking followers over there to rate it.
Uh-huh.
The same rating scale we have. There's no rhyme and reason, guys. It's all vibes. But I'm going to share. I'll share a little bit later, like what these movies got. If you want to join our Facebook group, come and do that. It is facebook.com/groups/Girls Gone Hallmark. Admittedly, haven't been over there in the last couple of days just because of the sheer amount of Hallmark movie watching and notes and all the stuff that we have to do behind the scenes.
Yes, but never you fear. The group is still popping off in our absence the past few days. They're talking Hallmark Plus. They're talking new Countdown to Christmas. So you can get in there and share your thoughts as well.
Maybe we need an admin person over there. Hey, if you want to apply for the job, email us. And by job, I mean free volunteer.
Yeah, do you want to be a volunteer Facebook moderator? Let us know.
That's the word I was looking for, not admin. Yes, moderator.
Pay you in our undying appreciation.
Yes, exactly.
You can always email us, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com, with your thoughts on these movies, these shows, our podcast. Let us know what you think.
Wait, see how loud my refrigerator is?
Yeah, Wendy has a complex about the sound that her refrigerator makes. I do not believe that our mics are picking it up.
Okay, if they are, Michelle, can you leave us a message?
If you hear a vibrating sound in the back of the podcast right now, please let us know.
I mean, we truly are sitting at my dining room table right now. My 2 dogs are making a lot of noise in the background. My refrigerator, the air conditioning is running because it is 90 degrees in Southern California today.
The kickoff has kicked our butts a little bit.
It has. Don't you think so?
Well, you know, this weekend was jam-packed with activities for me. And so having a 3-movie weekend with 3 days where my personal life did not have any downtime, honestly, by Sunday night, I was kind of like walking in circles and sweating and panicking. And
I was concerned when I sent you a text about 8:00 last night and you never responded. And I was like, oh boy, I hope she's okay.
Oh, we hadn't even started Sunday night's movie yet at that point.
Ooh. Oh, me neither. So we both watched it late last night then.
Yeah.
And hey, if you are looking for our review of Scouting for Christmas, it was originally going to be on our schedule for this Friday. However, when does this episode drop?
This drops Tuesday, so tomorrow.
On Wednesday, we will be in the Deck the Hallmark feed because we were a guest on their podcast reviewing Scouting for Christmas.
Yes, ma'am. We have some up top Hallmark news to share.
Yeah. Did you know that People magazine, they do the sexiest man alive stuff? Well, I guess every year, because I remember them doing this last year too, although I feel like it was much later. They have sexiest Hallmark hunks. They have a list of 26 Hallmark sexiest hunks. Do you want to go through the list?
Sure. I feel like it's really appropriate that number 1 on the list is Robert Buckley.
Well, it does say in no particular order.
I understand, but it's appropriate that we're reviewing his movie on this episode.
Got it.
I don't mean that I think he's the hottest man on Hallmark. Do not ask me to rank these men. It just works out well for our needs here today.
I'm going to rank this man. Wowie zowie, Victor Webster, number 1 for me.
I haven't scrolled through the whole list. Did he make? Yeah, he makes the list.
Yeah. So why don't you go through the list?
Number 2, Again, in no particular order, Benjamin Ayres, Victor Webster, Dennis Haysbert, who will be on Holidays, Niall Mater, Brendan Penny, On Our Cruise, Andrew Walker, Wes Brown, Tyler Hines, Kevin McGarry, Ben Hollingsworth, Dan Janot, Jonathan Bennett, Jordan Fisher, Will Kemp, John Brotherton, Marco Grazzini, BJ Britt, James Denton, Paul Campbell, Christopher Palaha, Sir Darius Blaine, Brennan Elliott, Ian Harding, Vincent Rodriguez, Sam Page. Now, I have a question really quickly. How do you think they come up with 26?
I don't know.
Because to me, tell me who you think is missing from the list.
There's a whole bunch of people missing from the list. We just talked about him with Dan.
Where's Luke McFarlane?
There he is. Luke McFarlane. Yeah. Where is Luke McFarlane?
That's
Where
a huge miss.
is Luke McFarland? Who else is missing from those lists? Chris McNally, not on the list.
Correct. Big miss.
Big miss. You know who else is not on this list? He was a real smoke show in the Real West. Lucas Bryant.
Yeah, but Lucas Bryant,
Because he hasn't been on the network?
yeah.
Jordan Fisher.
Yeah,
Why
great
is Jordan
point.
Fisher? I get that they're trying to include, like, okay, Dennis Haysbert. Am I saying his name right?
Yeah.
He's going to be in Holidays. That's like on Hallmark Plus. That's a big thing coming to the network. Of course, they have to include him. Jordan Fisher is going to be in a movie this holiday season.
Brooks Darnell.
Oh, you know who people are pissed about not being on the list?
Michael Rady.
Oh, Michael Reedy, you're right. Chris Holden Reed. Go back in that brain of yours. You're wondering who it is. Thomas Cole.
Yes.
From The Way Home.
Thank you. You know what's interesting? I think People Magazine and Hallmark have a symbiotic relationship because People covers a lot of Hallmark content.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Hallmark was maybe in their ear because people like Christopher Russell and Carlos Penavega, who have absconded for a different network,
Yeah.
are not making the list.
Well, I had saw some feedback. They're like, where's Jesse Metcalf? I'm like, Jesse Metcalf? We've been reviewing movies for 4 years. We've never touched a Jesse Metcalf movie.
No,
And he's been gone.
he's been gone. Oh, Jefferson Brown.
Oh, Jefferson Brown. And how about No Love for Eric Mabius in a Signed, Sealed, Delivered movie this year?
Yeah.
What about Marcus Rosner?
What about Marcus Rosner? That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you get to 26?
I don't
Maybe
know.
they're like, well, we can't put every single Hallmark star on the list. Otherwise, it's not a very,
Dude.
like,
Stephen Huszar.
take your shirt off, Stephen Huszar. Where is Evan Williams?
Evan Williams. Yeah, good one. I think the biggest miss is Luke McFarlane. And Luke McFarlane is going to be heading a reality TV show for the network.
Yeah.
In the new year, I think they should have definitely included him. There's just a lot of misses.
I agree with you.
And some other feedback I saw is, where are the hot women of Hallmark? Like, why aren't they making that list? Now, we have done this before. We did the King of Hallmark, our King of Hallmark.
I was just looking at it. That's where I was pulling those names from.
And we never did a Women of Hallmark one. It just feels kind of weird doing it.
Yeah, because I feel like it becomes like woman on woman crime a little bit. I don't know why. I feel like the men can take it. So maybe that's why Hallmark does Sexiest Man, but they don't do Sexiest Woman Alive
Yeah.
for the same reasons.
I don't know. I really want to hear.
Maybe we as a society have just decided that like we're all in on objectifying men, but like we're not maybe so excited about the objectification of women.
Yeah, maybe not. All right. Are you ready to review
I am.
this movie?
Let us hear a synopsis.
Feeling the pressure to bring someone home for Christmas, Jessie convinces Brian to join her family for a day filled with holiday events. Only the family doesn't know it's their first date.
This movie was directed by Bradley Walsh. Bradley has a whopping 49 directing credits, including last year's Catch Me If You Claus, speaking of Luke McFarlane. Plus, fun fact, he directed a 2008 episode of One Tree Hill where Robert Buckley co-starred as Clay.
This movie was written by Ramona Barkert, Ramona has 17 writing credits under her belt, including Degrassi, The Next Generation, and Open Heart, which also appeared on Teen Nick. This is her first Hallmark project, but she also penned this year's Lifetime movie, Danger in the Dorm, starring Bethany Frankel.
I had no idea Bethany Frankel starred in a Lifetime movie.
Bethany Frankel can pound sand, in my opinion.
Robert Buckley stars as Brian with 30 acting credits. Robert is no stranger to Hallmark, having starred in Chesapeake Shores and The Christmas House 1 and 2. But don't let those 30 credits fool you. He's appeared in 70 episodes of a series called Fashion House, 57 episodes of One Tree Hill, and 20 episodes of Lipstick Jungle. Kim Delaney come through. I loved that series.
Amy Groening stars as Jessie. You might recognize Amy from the Santa Summit and Miracle in Bethlehem, PA last year. She also has been in We Wish You a Merry Christmas and Pumpkin Everything.
Patrice Goodman plays Shelley, Jessie's sister-in-law. Patrice has racked up 72 acting credits, including Operation Nutcracker. You might have also caught her in The Way Home and a movie from that other network, Twas the Text Before Christmas.
Isn't that funny? It's a very similar name.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Jacko plays Andrew, Jesse's brother, with 101 acting credits. Christopher's been in a bunch of stuff like Hallmark's When Sparks Fly, also co-starring Meghan Markle, Degrassi, The Next Generation, Supernatural, Psych, and White Collar.
Mimi Kuzik plays Aunt Lily with 143 acting credits. Mimi is a seasoned pro. She's been in A Very Merry Mix-Up, and you may have seen her in Workin' Moms, Unreal, The L Word, and Ghost Whisperer.
Karen Waddell plays Laura, Jesse's mom. Karen has 30 acting credits and appeared in The Good Witch. She is also a certified mindfulness-based stress reduction teacher.
I think we need that.
You think?
Sean Cullen plays Marcus, Jesse's stepdad. Sean's got 77 credits with appearances in Suits, The Good Wife, and House of Cards. This looks like his first Hallmark project.
And for the behind-the-scenes info, Twas the Date Before Christmas was filmed in March 2024 in Toronto, Canada.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break for some ads, and we'll be right back. We're back, and it's time for First Impressions. Wendy, what's your first impression of Twas the Date Before Christmas?
Well, if anybody is following me on Instagram over the weekend, more Robert Buckley and Amy Groening. Fan-freaking-tastic casting.
We are of one mind because my first impression is we did it. We got Amy Groening a starring role. Now please put Robert Buckley Jr. in everything else. Like, I know he's been in, Chesapeake Shores, but and he was in a Blind Date Book Club.
Yeah.
But I want Robert Buckley saturation.
I didn't include Blind Date Book Club in our What Has a Robert Buckley Jr. Done?
Is it Junior?
I don't know. I thought you told me yesterday it was Junior.
I did, but you have it in here just as Robert Buckley.
Do you think you made up Junior?
Maybe. Robert Buckley. Maybe I did. There's no. I apologize, Robert Buckley, not Junior.
Not Junior.
Hey, let's talk what we liked about Twas the Date Before Christmas.
All right. Before we get into it, can I just give you what the breakdown was from
I would love to hear
followers of our Instagram, what they thought. So the Instagram peeps, 36% gave this a 5-star movie, 24% gave it a 4-star movie, 30% gave it a 3-star movie, and there were 9% of people who gave it 2 stars or less.
Hey, so over 50% of the voters gave it a 4 or a 5-star. I would say that's a solid first night showing.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to spoiler alert and tell you I'm right there with them.
Mm-hmm.
I was very pleased to have this kickoff movie. I feel like kickoff movies, you never know what you're going to get. We've had some winners and we've had some less than winners.
Mm-hmm.
This was just an absolute delight. We recently conducted an interview that'll be coming out shortly, and we talked with this writer who we were very excited to speak with. But one of the things he said was I want to keep a Hallmark moving forward, but I also want to be true to what Hallmark is. Like I don't want
Tradmark, baby. Tradmark.
Tradmark. But I feel like that's like a negative.
Tradmark's a negative?
Like
Traditional Hallmark?
Tradwife is not a nice.
But okay. I just thought it was
I think it's
funny.
very funny, but I feel like the idea here is I think this movie is really true to what Hallmark is, but does it really well.
Yeah, I think the writer took a fresh take on kind of a traditional Hallmark trope.
Yeah. It's like fake dating, but kind of not because they're actually dating. They've just fake accelerated their relationship.
Yeah, I liked a lot about this movie. So I thought Robert Buckley and Amy Groening were perfection in this.
Delightful.
High energy, great chemistry, very playful and fun, very current.
I'm like, oh, make them the next Lacey and Brennan. Make them the
Please.
next Andrew and Nikki.
Right. I agree. Such a fabulous dynamic between these two. I need more from them together. Yes, I want them to be the next, like, twosome that are in a bunch of movies together.
Yeah, I want to fast forward to like Girls Gone Hallmark's 15th anniversary. And they're like, and with their 11th movie together, Amy Groening and Robert Buckley Jr.
Yeah.
Second chance holiday romance.
Let's start a campaign. They were great.
The writer of this movie, I thought she used some interesting and fun language choices.
Tell me.
Jessie/Amy uses the word "we." She's like, "Oh, it's just a wee one." She's talking about her little lie.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also uses the phrase "gong show." She's like, "It's going to be a complete gong show," talking about her weekend. I really love it. Those are phrases that we don't get enough of. I found the writing to be incredibly fresh. At one point, Robert Buckley, I'm having a really hard time not saying Junior. Brian is talking to his friends and they're like, you need a safe word. And he goes, what's yours? And I was like, whoa, safe word on Hallmark.
Yeah.
Real cute.
Really cute. Speaking of Brian's friends, yay for a diverse cast.
Yeah.
I was thrilled to see that we have Brian's friends, Debbie the rideshare boyfriend, a biracial family dynamic. You know, I know we said pre countdown to Christmas in our preview. We were like, where's the diversity? And here's a little bit, right?
Yes.
I think you might have mentioned it when we recorded this weekend for either Chicken Sisters or Groomsmen or something. Was this a highlight for you that we have a mix here?
Yes. I mentioned in our Groomsmen episode, which came out yesterday, that we had initially were like, where is the diversity? And I still think like some main cast diversity is lacking overall. But first two movies out of the gate, real strong diversity. And I'm not just talking about racial diversity. Like we have family structure diversity. We've got a blended family. They're celebrating the stepfather and that relationship here. And so I am liking seeing all of these different paths to, you know, family structure. And was very pleased with what we're seeing here. I still think we need some more main cast diversity.
Me too.
We don't have a single lead LGBTQ storyline. I imagine we know at least of one supporting storyline on Hallmark Channel. You and I know that hasn't been announced.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's a lot of them, but we need more of the leads.
I agree.
I'm going to keep beating that drum.
As we should. I said in our preview episode, remember when I couldn't say Dolmar? See, there it is again. It's imprinted in my brain now.
I forgot that was about this movie, Dermot Mulroney.
Yeah, the fake dating trope. I love it. I loved it with this. But I love that it was updated, that they like met on an app.
Yes.
Mingle all the way. It was not. But that they met on an app and like, it was so cute.
I love fake dating because I like it so much more than enemies to lovers in a movie, in a book. And here's why. in fake dating, obviously you're pretending to be dating. And so you have these opportunities to like pretend to be a couple. And those kind of lead to be like, oh, I kind of like holding your hand. I like playing this game with you. I like having these like coupley moments with you.
Yeah.
It's like foreshadowing your relationship. It's so fun.
Exactly. That is fun because you get this like perfect mix of tension and awkwardness. And as a viewer, you kind of know they're going to end up at the end. So it's just fun to watch it like unfold.
Yeah, you're going to get happy ending.
Yeah.
I thought there was a really lovely mother-daughter moment in the bedroom where Jesse's mom, Jesse's having a moment after kind of having to tell the Sean story, and her mom comes to her and she's like, I understand, like, you're afraid of getting hurt. After I got divorced, I thought that was it for me. And she tells her own second chance romance story. And I thought that was real nice.
It's nice. They did have some great like family layers here.
Yeah.
Like she and the brother, while tussle a little bit, but they actually truly have love for each other and they care for each other and they're looking out for each other. I thought that was really nice. I loved kind of kooky Aunt Lily was fun. I really loved stepdad Marcus. I had saw some chatter that people thought he was like over the top and annoying.
I loved him.
When he was like going through his kitchen and he's like, you don't touch what's in the oven.
Yes.
You don't touch what's in. I was like, how are you going to let these people bake in your kitchen when they can't have access to anything?
But I also can fully understand the like, don't mess with my holiday dinner. Like I got a system in here. Don't let your saltine cracker toffee ruin it.
Every year I want to make that.
You've made it before, have you not?
No, never. I have a friend that makes it, but no,
we make it.
So good.
We were watching this. My husband's like, oh, we need to make that again this year. I was like, yes, we do. Not technically baking, but yes, we do.
I don't care. It's still delicious. How about the deeper themes here, especially with the ex-fiance and his passing? I thought it was nice. I mean, I know I don't love movies where they're like, oh, I'm a widow or whatever. I'm glad she wasn't a widow in this movie.
Okay, that they had never gotten married.
Yeah, but it to me showed some really nice emotional layers about grief and healing. And I do have some wishes about that, but I like that Jessie wasn't just this like chronically single gal who was like looking for a date.
I thought it was handled with the appropriate amount of weight appropriate to the circumstance. I understood Jessie's motivation in lying about bringing someone to Christmas, knowing that like their concern for her and her ability to handle all the normal Christmas stuff was going to cause them to cancel their. And she was like, no, I can't let my grief spill over onto everyone else. Even though I don't think that's an unfair choice to make. Like, she doesn't have to fake it for everyone. But I fully understood her motivation to be like, I'm not going to be the one that brings us down.
Right.
When Brian finds the photo in the kitchen, the family photo, and Sean's in it. And she's like, who's that? I really felt like the fallback moment would have been for some sort of misunderstanding to ensue there, for the mom to make some sort of comment. And instead, she just says, I think you should talk to Jessie about it.
Which is such an appropriate response.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this family just feels like so warm and lovely. And as kooky and as silly as this is, it all is coming from such a nice place.
Did you not love the Christmas Olympics?
No, I loved the Christmas Olympics. I'm surprised you loved the Christmas Olympics.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah?
I thought maybe a bit much. Because if I look at my own holiday, doing all those events in one day, and that's like the day before Christmas, like I would just be done.
Yeah.
It's a lot of events.
Well, and then I think about it, what they're not allowing for here is like in my family, like we have to do one family the day before and one family the next day. I think if you are spending like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with the family, it's like, okay, well, Christmas Eve is going to be our busy day. We're going to have all this fun. And then Christmas Day, I've like fully thought this out. I'm like, that's your like pajamas, cinnamon rolls, relax. It's not like that in my house either.
Nope.
I wish it were. It would start World War III if we were to do that, but I would love that.
Me too. We did that last year because the family that we usually get together with on Christmas Day was out of town. And so we didn't do anything. And then I was like, we're just going to order Chinese food and like have this great thing. And we couldn't get Chinese food from anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I ended up eating Del Taco.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It was a real kind of bummer. So it won't be like that this year, though.
No, you'd have to, you'd plan ahead better for the food situation.
Well, and the family's in town this year. So
we, a couple years, were like, no, we are not dragging our kids out on Christmas Day. We'll do any other day. But people have not reacted well to that choice. So now we just do what everybody else wants to do. And I had a big meltdown with my husband. I was like, I'm 45 years old and I don't get to make my own decisions about how to spend Christmas.
Yeah. No, that's a real... You're not alone.
I'm not alone. If you are feeling that way, it's really hard. I don't know what the solution is, because I've definitely had years where I'm like, no, we get to just develop our own family traditions. And then I feel badly that we're hurting other people in the process.
Well, and we are in this weird transition of life where our kids are getting older, right? And I would say in the next 5 years, what are our kids, what are they going to want to do on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? And it may not look like the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Christmas holiday time is hard. I'm here to acknowledge it.
It is hard.
I have one last I thought the costuming and the set decor was real good in this movie. Jesse and Brian's coats and scarves were on point.
Yeah.
I loved them. And I thought the set design of the house too was really nice. It captured like a beautiful, cozy, beautiful holiday vibe. And maybe because it's only October, like it gave me like, oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to do this to my house.
Yeah, our fall decor is still up. Wendy has a Jack Skellington in her front yard.
You guys, it's like a 20-foot Jack Skellington.
I love it so much. I showed my whole family. They all loved it. But this kickoff really, I think I was just I was ready for it. I was in the right frame of mind. I was like, oh, give it to me. I'm ready. Let's put the tree up.
Let's put the tree up?
Well, you know what I said to my husband is we have fall garland. And I was like, when our Christmas decorations are up, we like to like turn down the lights and then light the tree and have everything,
I love that vibe. I love that vibe.
And I was like, maybe we should add some lights to our fall garland so we can have that moment in fall. So it probably won't happen until next year. But he was like, do you want me to go get some? I was like, not right this actual minute, but
wow. Settle down, dude.
Okay, are you ready to move on to wishes?
Sure am.
I know you have some. Let's hear them.
While I liked the fake dating trope, I hated everything about you're going to lose your small business trope. It didn't bother you?
I have mixed emotions about it, because the one thing I did like about that is that they made it Shelley's business and not Jesse's business.
Good.
So that the conflict wasn't between Jesse and Brian. It was like external. Now Shelley is her sister-in-law and her friend. I'm not sure that we needed that, but I did like that at no point was Brian really the bad guy.
Right.
Like, he wasn't big bad corporate dude trying to steal the business. He was like, we can't do this, make it stop. And then he has that like, get over here on Christmas Eve, let's solve this problem moment.
Yeah, which feels a little unrealistic to me.
Sure.
Because
I'd be like, this can wait until next week, bruh.
But also the eviction letter could have waited another week as well. You don't send an email saying you're going to be evicted on Christmas Eve. No. Nobody does that.
No.
So these are the Hallmark things that drive me absolutely crazy. Yeah. Also, I thought the ending a little predictable as well, but like, well, of course they're going to get together. Everybody's happy. And Shelley gets a new lease on her business. So those are my like two biggest wishes.
Everything's tied up with like a tidy little bow.
A tidy little bow. And I think for me, I thought the first half of this movie was really fun.
Yeah.
Like quick paced. And then like that, the fun part of it kind of fizzled out in the last third of it, where I thought was like, okay, let's get through like this whole business part of it and Shelley's stuff. And those things kind of bother me.
You know, that's really my only wish here is that I think Amy and Robert have such nice chemistry on screen that it was so easy to root for them that the conflict does seem a little bit manufactured. But I was like, I almost was like, I don't want to root against them. Like in that moment where he's like, rhubarb pie, like, I gotta go. And I was like, actually sad about it.
Yeah.
He decides to leave.
Yeah.
I didn't think far enough into what I would prefer the conflict have been. Part of me is like, yeah, this makes sense. It's a Hallmark movie. It's on brand. It's easy. It's low stakes. And the other part of me is like, something else.
Yeah. What could have been different? I don't know. I'm not a Hallmark writer.
Right.
I don't know. But I am a fan and a viewer of these movies. And what if they just made it the conflict? The family finds out that they have just met and then they're like, what are you doing? Like, that's a terrible idea. But then I guess.
Or maybe it's just like, wow, this is too much too soon. Like we went straight from like blind date to pretending like I like you, but maybe I'm not looking at this with realistic glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. I have one more wish.
Okay.
Let Jessie grieve. I thought the push for her to meet somebody new was
Under the 1 year mark. It hasn't been that long.
too quick. Too quick. It was the same with Scouting for Christmas that I didn't mention in our review when we were on Deck the Hallmark. I thought there's too much pressure on these people. Like you have to be with someone. I'm very content being alone.
Me too.
So I don't know if anybody came to me and was like, you need to date somebody. You need to open your heart again, blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, yeah, bye. I'm fine.
Yes. If my marriage or my husband should not last as long as I do, I will be the happy spinster.
Yeah. We'll move in together.
Totally. We're going to live next door to each other. I am so independent. You know, also we're old.
Yeah.
We're old. We've had children. I love the idea of love and romance, but I also think like don't force it.
Yeah. One of the movies this weekend, I think it was Scouting for Christmas. In fact, it was. And she's like, don't you want romance in your life? Like you need a little romance in your life. And I'm like, I'm married and there's no romance in my life.
Right.
So, I don't understand the conversation.
Like romance is like my husband did the grocery shopping and bought like the candy that I like.
Yeah.
And bought strawberries, even though I'm the only one in the house that eats them. I'm like, thank you for seeing me. Like that's romance. It's not flowers and candy and candlelit dinners and and honestly it never was. That's just not
I know.
my whole vibe.
Do you have any more wishes?
I don't.
Wow, your list was real short. I'm curious to see how our ratings are going to be different in this movie. All right, let's talk about Did You See That?
I only have one.
Tell me.
It's a snowball fight.
I have a snowball fight too.
Except for the very last one, the snowballs did not fall apart.
Ma'am, did you sneak into my computer and look at my notes? You are absolutely right. I was like, okay, first of all, I've never been in a snowball fight because I live in Southern California. Not that there's not snow here, but like, okay, whatever. I've never been in a snowball fight.
Snow where we live.
I know, but we are adjacent to
Sure,
mountains.
you have snow access, but
Yes. But I've never been in a snowball fight. I imagine getting hit by a snowball actually hurts. A wad of ice coming
sure,
at you.
I'm certain that it could. I have no idea.
But I think they usually break upon impact. And I saw snowballs hit people and bounce off it.
Yes.
Onto the
The only one that breaks is the one that Jesse throws at Brian.
At the very, very end.
Yes.
Yeah, to win the fight.
Yes.
Yes, I agree with you. I have one more. Did you see that? And at the top of this movie, it said it was inspired by a true story. And I really wish I knew more details about that.
Yeah, who was fake dating at Christmas?
I need to know. Maybe I'm going to slide into the DMs of this writer and be like, can you give us an update here? I would love to know behind the scene details.
Yeah, check our website, girlsgonehallmark.com, for that. All right, it's the moment Wendy has been waiting for. What did you rate this movie?
Listen, I was in the shower yesterday and I was like, how am I going to rate these movies? You know, usually it's all vibes, right? And
I'm very worried that you're going to have like an actual system here.
I'm not going to give it an actual system, but you know a 5-star movie when you see a 5-star movie.
Sure.
Right? This wasn't it. It was still good. And this is still a good rating, 3.75 stars.
You know what's so funny is my rating is lower than that.
What? Okay, tell me.
My rating is 3.5 stars. Now, let me be very clear. That's a good rating.
It is.
I thought this was a great movie, very enjoyable, very fun to watch. And I'm also thinking of this in terms of like, we have a 47 movie slate.
Yes.
And I think some movies are going to blow me away more than this one does. I think a 5-star movie needs to take a bigger swing.
Oh, 100%.
I think this actually was the perfect kickoff movie because it's solidly Hallmark, solidly well done Hallmark. I liked it.
I did too, but it there was a couple swings before I got a hit.
Hey, thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Ramble Jam podcast. If you love this podcast, you know what we love? We love your 5-star ratings and reviews. You can leave them in the podcast app of your choice. Takes but a moment to let everybody know that you love the podcast, and it is the very best thing you can do to support us and fellow podcasters. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.